Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Professor Stephanie Golub from the Political Science Department, and I'm the director of ISLA, the Initiative for the Study of Latin America. And it's my pleasure to be here this afternoon to welcome you to Career Cafecito. This is a very special event because this is a follow-on to a very special event that we started our program year in September with Primer Cafecito to help orient students to all of the great resources that are available for you to plan your future at Baruch and beyond. It's also very special for us because February is El Porvenir, Futures Month. And so we're kicking off Futures Month with this wonderful event with partnering with the Starr Career Development Center. And I want to thank my colleagues at Starr, Ingrid Tineo, the Deputy Director of Employer Relations and Diversity Initiatives, and her colleagues here with us today, Adli Felusma and Michael Kalish. So thank you very much to my colleagues at Starr, really are very excited to be here together. February is an exciting month for us also because we're celebrating Black History Month. And our next event, which is coming up on Thursday, February 18th, is about Carnival, the great Afro-Latinx tradition in the Americas. It will be from 6 to 7 p.m. and Daniela is is going to put information in the chat here. Please, we'd love to see you there. We're going to have Professors Shambe Miles, Professor Rojo Robles Mejias from the Black and Latinx Studies Department, and Professor Gisele Regatao from the Department of Journalism and the Writing Professions. We're also going to have some special guests, some Baruch staff and students talking about celebrations of Carnival in their countries and their communities, even here in New York City. So please join us for that fantastic opportunity to celebrate Carnival together. So right now, I'm going to turn the event now over to our coordinator of student affairs, Daniela Toribio, who's going to introduce our first segment of this fantastic event. And we're looking forward to also getting your questions at the end. So thank you very much to everyone. And here's Daniela.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining us and those who will be watching later. Like Professor Golub said, I'm Daniela Toribio, and I'm the coordinator of student affairs. And I would today have our Karen and Serena Cordelia. Serena alumni, she graduated in 2017 with a Bachelor of Art in Economics. She then went to work in Morgan Stanley, and I started as an intern and then moved as a full-time employee. And during the pandemic, everything that's going on, she decided to go back to school, and it's now getting her MIA Fordham University. Kiara, it's currently a Baruch student. She's in her last semester of senior, and she's doing public affairs with the hope of creating and a public service, but she has an exceptional resume. And today, both of them are here to tell us how the resources that we have available at Baruch have helped them become the successful students and alumni that they currently are. So with that said, I want to start that discussion with a few questions for Kiara and for Serena. So my first question is, okay, I'm sorry. In your first year, what were the tools and resources you used to get your first internship or leadership experience? And what were the most effective tools that you kept using throughout the years throughout your undergrad years? So any of you, either Kiara or Serena, can answer.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just gonna say in my freshman year, I got involved with club life a lot. Just kind of, I wasn't really a part of any club, but I went to like a lot of clubs, and I got involved in student government, and I basically made connections and just spoke to a lot of students on campus and heard about different programs that was going on, and type of events that I like, learning what I like and dislike. And I also let my advisor know all the events I was doing, and then she realized that I was an active member of student government and Baruch, that she introduced me to opportunities to pursue later internships in the following years.
Wonderful. So,
I was a transfer student. I came in during my sophomore year, so I could speak to my first year at Baruch, which was my sophomore year. I became friends with the people at the Starr Center. I think they saw me frequently because I knew that giving my elevator pitch, getting my resume in tip-top shape, and be able to prepare for difficult questions during interviews was really important. And I think going to those events that firms have, whether it's a bank or any other firm that comes to visit the school, go. Even if you're unsure about it, just go. You never know what employer may stick out to you. Those are ways I usually tell people you can broaden your horizons and understand what's out there. And the more you go and you speak to professionals and you get away with it, the more comfortable you are. And by the time you really are looking your junior or early senior year, you are a veteran with it and well practiced, and will be able to make the best impression you can in a short amount of time.
wonderful. Thank you so much. So I have a question for you, Serena. During your undergrad experience, do you have any internships or leadership experience that you feel so proud of a year? Like you look back and you're like, wow, I'm so proud of myself.
Sure. So for my freshman year, it wasn't at Baruch, but I was still at a CUNY. I interned for my local congresswoman, but I think after that, when I came to Baruch, I really practiced and worked into Starr Center, and eventually I got an interview at Morgan Stanley, and that was where my career really started. I interned them in the summer, and I was able to secure a full-time offer afterwards. So senior year, I was okay. I had my job secured. So I think I was very proud of that, because honestly, I'm the only person in my family who went to financial services. Neither of my parents have their bachelor's. So I just was like really grateful for that. And I think it was a very humbling experience. And it really helped me jumpstart my career. So I would say both internships were good, but the one at Morgan Stanley is what really turbocharged my career.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I'll be really proud of that. So that's very impressive. What about you, Kiara? I know that you have internship with the city council, and then you went to the United States Senate, and then you work in the United Nations. So you have a lot of quite interesting experience. So I want to know which one of them all is the one that you feel proud of the most, and how do you do to get this internship?
The one I was just like most proud of and like super psyched about would be the one with the United Nations, which I did this past summer. Basically, I was interning with the United Nations Global Compact, and I was an academy intern. So basically, I help with educational videos about sustainability for corporations across the world. And I was really psyched about it because like one of my end goals is to work in the United Nations. I hope to end up in international relations in somewhere form. And I was able to do so summer after junior year. So I was super psyched about that and very proud of it. And yeah, I got that internship through combination of networking and just applying for programs. Originally, I had applied for a CUNY internship in DC. However, because of Corona and COVID policies, CUNY decided to focus on programs within the city, and they went to they discussed with like numerous on-campus professionals to place students, and there was one the Baruch faculty member they came to was Michael Feller, who was a professor of mine who knew about my interest in international relations and helped me get placed in the United Nations. So that was something I'm very proud about, and I managed to get through applying and just using my resources.
Wonderful. I'm very proud of you. So just to let everyone know, the internship that Kiara is talking about is the CUNY internship in Washington, D.C. And it's for juniors or seniors who will be attending an extra semester. And the application is up. I'm adding the link to the chat for those that are interested. It's a really, really good internship. I did it too. And as you can tell by what Kiara said, it's something that opens opportunities. With that said, I think many of us can relate here that having an internship while doing your undergrad experience is quite challenging. So, Kara, can you tell us a little bit, how do you manage your time? How is it to have an internship, maybe a part-time job, and also doing your schoolwork? Like, how do you manage your time?
It's hard. I'm not gonna pretend that not. It has been difficult, but it's a matter of prioritizing what's important to me. I've always pursued internships because I find that as an extension to my future, if I want to get into the career that I wanted to start in internships that can open the gateway to my future. So I always prioritize getting the experience needed to have a successful future. But at the same time, I knew my academics were important because almost all of your internship as a student you apply for asks for your GPA. So I always try to maintain a solid GPA. And I did work a part-time job. I still do work a part-time job because I do need to sustain myself. So it's all a matter of time management. So it's like I only work on certain days. I don't work when I go to school. When I do my schoolwork, I make sure I make time for homework. And yeah, it's just a matter of prioritizing what's important to me.
Sounds very challenging.
I'd like to add to that. When I was interning at Morgan Stanley during summer, I was actually taking econometrics during the summer as well, which is a type of statistics mixed with economics. And I needed it to graduate. I really didn't have much of a choice whether or not to defer it for the fall. And it takes organization and planning. And I really mean that sincerely, because I had a 2-hour commute round trip too, just to add to that. So I think from a practical standpoint, you know what you have to do. Have a planner, put things on Google Calendar, be organized, let your family know, whoever's in your day-to-day, let them know what's going on, just up to date. So you're all on the same page. Because that'll make the world of difference. Because if you have a good support system, they'll go and aid you, but you have to communicate that with them so they know how to support you if they can. And just maintain your health, and especially nowadays. I mean, but it goes without saying, maintain a decent diet and exercise, even with that busy schedule. Because if that goes, it's very difficult to maintain the job with the school.
It's very true. So thank you so much for sharing that. It's a challenge that we're all faced throughout our undergrad journey. So I have a question. I noticed both of you talked a lot about networking and how much it has done for both of you. So Serena, can you tell me a little bit about like your tips to network? Because even for me, ironically, I am very terrified of approaching people. I don't want to feel like I am bothering them, but I know it's very important. It helps a lot to our careers. So you can share with us to make us feel a little bit more comfortable with networking.
Sure. I will give you a secret, and now it's not going to be a secret because I'm recording this and it's distributed. I'm an introverted person. And I know it, but most people know me professionally wouldn't tell. Because I think the best way to approach networking is from a couple of standpoints. And the first one is that you're reaching out to another human being. You're reaching out to another person. Doesn't matter if they're managing director, doesn't matter if they're another intern or if they're a student or anywhere in between. It's another individual. That kind of, in a way, if you tell yourself that, it kind of takes the anxiety off, the edge off a bit. The second way is when you go and approach somebody, especially if it's cold calling them, whether it's on LinkedIn or your friend told you to reach out to this person, always be considerate of their time. Know that you, or at least take the assumption you're in the ask. So, you want to be considerate and keep your messages brief. But I think also, in the third thing with that, don't go in with the mindset like, I really need this from them, especially if you're meeting them for the first or second, even the third time. Don't go in with that, because people are smart. They'll pick up on that quickly, and it may make things awkward if they feel that they don't have anything to give you. So when you go and you approach them, I think the best way to go is to approach them as that I want to learn from that person. Because my mom always told me, she goes, everybody has their story, And no matter how smart you may be, there's everyone on this earth knows one thing you don't. And try and go and meet that person with the mentality of you want to learn what that is. And when you go with that and you go from a standpoint just to learn, just to get to know the person and to really to build an organic relationship, that is where things happen. They may give you more than you asked for. They may just give you what you asked for, which is to learn. But that will also help you because now you're enriched with more tools to go out and forge your own way. So that's how I approach it. I approach that the person is a person, be considerate of their time, and know that I'm not approaching that, even if I need something, I don't. I go, no, I want to learn from that person first, and then you see what happens.
Well, that's wonderful. I am mentally taking notes because this is so important.
It helped me a lot. It really is. I wouldn't tell you if it didn't, but that's helped me be able to get past that and really go and reach out to people is with that. And this is from someone who's introverted. So I stand by that.
Thank you so much. I know Kiara is an introvert too. So if you have any tips or any networking experience that you want to share with us, we would really appreciate it. What, do you have anything that you want to share?
I mean, Serena really said it best. You're approaching a person and just treat it as such. Again, it's really a learning experience. Don't look at it as a sure way to get something. Look at it as like an opportunity to get to know someone who can teach you more about your interests.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. So now that we're talking, Kiara, I have to ask, do you have any plans after graduation, and what resources available at Baruch are you using to search for those opportunities?
So post-graduation, I'm looking into fellowships, basically like professional development programs after college. That's basically what a fellowship is. And yeah, I'm looking into fellowships. I've come in contact with our fellowship advisor. I forget what her actual title is, but Valeria Jaimes. She's been super helpful in helping me discover what fellowships suit me, someone who likes international relations and like foreign policy and governmental work. So she's helped tailor the application process to my needs and is steering me in the right direction.
Well, that's wonderful. I wish you the best of luck, and I'm very confident that you will definitely find the opportunity that you're looking for. So for those who are interested, I'm adding the fellowships website to the chat so you could do a little digging on the fellowships that are available. And over there, you'll also find the contact information for Valeria Hyman's. And she's amazing, and she's going to help us all apply for wonderful opportunities. And thank you, Kiara, for sharing. I have one final question for Serena. I am very impressed and very proud of the fact that you were able to move from a summer intern to a full-time employee. So I would love if you could share the secret with us. Please tell us what skills would you highlight on your resume? What were the things that you did, maybe the people that you approached during the summer internship that help you highlight as an intern and make you be an excellent candidate for a full-time position?
Okay, thank you. For transferring your internship to a full-time offer, I'll start with your relationship with your direct manager has to be strong. Hands down. She tells you to do something or he tells you to do something, write it down. And stay on. If you have a question and after you're looking at it and you have a question, which you will, you ask and then you take notes. And I say this, by doing your job well is the main thing. The second thing is have to have the right attitude. Excuse me, I stuttered. And you have to go and network with people on your team, get to know them. They're going to most likely take you out to lunch or at least coffee, or virtually they will want to set up time with you to get to know you. And of course, always maintain your professionalism, but do show your authentic self. And that doesn't come automatically, that comes with development. So I think, developing your professional self, that is something new for students, and it was difficult for me at first. But once you do that, you're able to really thrive. So once you network with them and you do your job well, you just have a good attitude, work hard, be respectful, be polite, but make sure that you also showcase your work by keeping updates with your manager and always trying to do your best. This is the advice I would say sounds the most generic, but it is the advice I went by. And you just always want to maintain that professionalism, that hard work, but most importantly, maintain good relations too with who you're around.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. I think those are really, really important advice for us that are currently looking for full-time opportunities so we can move from interns to full-time. So thank you so much for joining us and for sharing so much wisdom and so much. This has been great. And thank you so much, Kiara, for also sharing your wonderful experience. And I hope we all benefit from your experience and can make that resume perfect. Thank you. I will now pass the mic back to Professor Golub.
Thank you. It was my pleasure being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks to you both, and thank you, Daniela. This was a really fantastic a conversation. We are all of us, as you're saying, the importance of getting to know somebody and to really be always learning is something that even those at these advanced stages of our lives can learn from. And very inspiring to hear about your experiences and the fantastic work that you've already done, all that you've accomplished so far. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And so now I'm going to turn it over now to our special partner at the Starr Career Development Center, Ingrid Tineo, who also, I met Ingrid for the first time when she was so generously participated in Primer Cafecito in September. And Ingrid and I have been at Baruch for decades, and we wondered what took us so long to meet one another. So this is again another tremendous pleasure to introduce you to Ingrid, and she is going to speak about the opportunities that are available at Starr and talk to you about her fabulous colleagues who come to be here to help us all learn about how to use these resources. So Ingrid, take it away.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. And it's my honor and my pleasure to be here for the Segundo Cafecito. I was there for the Primer Cafecito, so I came back for seconds. So, it's an honor. But, the first and foremost, Daniela, wonderful moderating, and Kiara and Serena, thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights and your nuggets of wisdom, with the students. And it's interesting, you both, that you're both introverts, and, because again, I know it's a little bit more of a challenge. I'm a combination of both. I'm an extrovert at times, but I think I'm leaning more towards introvert these days. So when it comes to networking, I know that, that is always a challenge. And, and you would think after all these years, right, that it would be a breeze, but, it always takes work. And one of the things that I have to, when Serena, because, I work closely with Serena years ago, but one of the things that I always remember, so some of the nuggets that you share, Serena, I still remember that about you, some of the things that stood out. That's why, whenever you interact and engage, and it doesn't matter who you interact and engage with, those first impressions, they go a long way and they're lasting. Because I always remember Serena, she was always the utmost professional whenever she would come to see me. She was persistent, a go-getter, qualities, that are very admirable. So, and, she will always have a warm place in my heart, Serena, just so you know. So I have never forgotten after all these years. So I wish you both, Kiara and Serena, continued success. And I'm glad to hear that you took advantage of all the resources available to you, which is always, the message that we try to convey with our students. The Starr Career Development Center, we're just one resource, but there are tons of other resources, and you want to cast the wide net. You want to take advantage of all the different opportunities available, because you just don't know when that next opportunity, where it's going to lie. So whether it's, using our services, which we're going to talk a little bit about, I'm going to turn over the mic over to my colleagues in a little bit, but, faculty, your professors, your peers, you'd be surprised how many of those who you interact with on the regular basis in class, are currently working. I would say that the majority of our students are doing, while they're going to class full time, have a 1 or 2 or 3 internships under their belt, and other responsibilities. That's why a lot of the employers, who we work with, love Baruch College students. You're multitaskers. You can do it all. You're doing well, and you have a job. You do it. You have internships. And these are some of the qualities that the employers look for. And in terms of the services that the Starr Career Development Center offers, for those of you who already know, we provide services to all the undergraduate Baruch College students. From the 3 schools. Sometimes students forget that. We just don't provide services to Zicklin. We provide services to Marks and Weissman students as well. So, it's a different recruiting process when it comes to the different schools. Sometimes it's just in time recruiting. Unlike the accounting and the finance, a lot of those, the organizations that hire those majors, I always say they hire in bulk. And they hire, sometimes a year in advance for some of these opportunities. But for others, it's just in time. And 80% of the opportunities that we post through our system are just in time opportunities, where the employers are just looking for somebody. It could be, just one opportunity. So that's what we encourage students. And in addition to participating in our on-campus recruiting program, Michael Kalish, my colleague, is going to talk a little bit about that they're also, using Starr Search, just to look under job postings, and regular job postings. And Ali Delusma is going to talk a little bit about that, because Ali and another colleague are the ones who are primarily responsible for vetting, reviewing, and approving the hundreds of jobs that come in through our online career management system, Starr Search, on a regular basis. Hundreds every month. The employers know who we are. They like our students. They're posting opportunities. We try to vet them and approve them as quickly as possible. You already know about, I don't know, Michael Kalish. I definitely want to make sure that I turn over, because, we want to make sure that we help you in terms of navigating the system. So my colleague, Michael Kalish, I'm going to turn over the mic to him. Michael, I don't know if you want to at this time. Daniela, I don't know, we can give Michael the co-host so that he can kind of just walk everybody through our website and provide more information regarding that. And Michael Kalish is our Associate Director of Recruiting and Experiential Learning. And again, Alita Luzma is our Senior Job Posting Specialist, and they're going to both present. So passing it on to you, Mike and Natalie. Thank you very much.
Thank you for all of these very warm welcomes. And of course, thank you for having us here today and featuring our center. I'm happy to be speaking today. So Adley, why don't you share your screen? I know that you mentioned that you would have it up on your screen. So we're going to go on Adley's screen this evening. So
I permitted multiple sharing, so I would assume that he can share.
Great, thank you.
Okay. So Starr Search is our database that we have for all 15,000 plus undergraduate students. Adley's actually just right now signing in as a test student, so we can show you exactly what our students see when they sign into the system. And like Ingrid said, our services are for all 3 schools, for all 15,000 plus undergrads from all 3 schools. And the system, it's really important that students become familiar with this system, because it's not only a job and internship database, but it's also where all of our events are posted, all employer information sessions, all of our in-house workshops, everything is listed in this system. And so it's a nice complement to our regular website, but this particular system, students are required to sign in for. So their username would be their Baruch Mail email address, and then they would create their own password. The login screen for Starr Search for students is accessible through our general website, which I know was just recently shared through the chat function. So I guess I'll just have Adley walk us through the process of what it looks like for a student to actually find an opportunity and the steps involved. So I'll hand it over to you, Adley, right now.
Sure. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. So what we're looking at here right now is basically what it looks like when a student logs in to their Starr Search account. So this is the home page, which is the first thing you'll see when you log in. And on the left-hand side, you'll see a number of different tabs. And we always definitely encourage students when they first use Starr Search to update their account. So all their criteria in their account, so their class level, GPA, etc. So they can find that under the very last tab on the left where it says My Account. If they click on that, you'll see a drop down of different subsettings under My Account, and they can click on Academic, right? And once they click on that, they can set their graduation date, and they can set their class level. So if they're a senior, if they're a junior, and then they can update this every semester or every year whenever they obtain the appropriate amount of credits, so that they can date with their credentials. Their major, they can keep track of, and their GPA, students can update every semester. And it's very important that students like match the information based on their CUNY First account so that everything can be accurate. And these parameters are what's going to be used when students search for different types of jobs, because some jobs will only be available for seniors or only for sophomores and juniors. So if they have the wrong class level, then they'll be missing out on opportunities that are designated for that particular class level. So it's definitely very important to make sure this information is accurate and is always up to date. They can also upload their resume. Mike, I'm not sure, is it best to have it in a PDF format or in a Word format?
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. It's definitely better that the students upload it in a PDF format, even though if they try to upload it in a Word document, the system usually does convert it to PDF, but that's known to cause a lot more issues. And sometimes this, it freezes, it doesn't eventually upload. So our representatives at Simplicity, which manage the system, have always told us to advise the students to upload everything as a PDF to make things easier.
Right. Yeah, that makes perfect sense for it to be in a PDF format instead of a Word format. Let me see the personal tab. So this is where they would put their address, their name and all that, which is of course confidential. Employers won't see that. But now I'll move on to how we would search for opportunities. So on the left-hand side, we have a jobs tab and then a search tab right under it. So we can click on that. And then this screen will load. And if students are looking for either full-time jobs or part-time jobs or internships, they can filter through the particular job type that they're looking for through the position type filter right here. If they click on this drop-down menu, let me click on that here. So there it is. If they want only full-time, that they can select that, or internships or part-time jobs. So I can click on internships, for example, and click apply. And then, of course, you can put any keyword that you're looking for. If you're looking for jobs in research, for example, or jobs in writing, or whatever else would be relevant to ISLA. I'm sure we have tons of opportunities. As Ingrid said, we approve hundreds every week, actually. So we have tons and tons of opportunities. So if I search, for example, research, a lot of research positions, research assistant positions, and so on. I'll click enter, and here we see a couple of results, 189 results. Here are only a few of them. So we have science policy intern, summer 21 internships for nonprofits, all sorts of different internships. And of course, you can customize your search if you're looking for something more specific. So there's a little label for this one that says not qualified. So either because of the student's class level or their GPA or some other criteria, they don't qualify for this position. So that's pretty helpful to let you know what you do and don't qualify for. So if I were to click on a particular position, I can show what it looks like. So for example, this one, summer 2021 research internship. When you click on it, you'll see, of course, the position type, the degree level, a little description of what the position entails, the salary, and of course benefits, how to apply, responsibilities and duties that you'll be doing, etc. Like a standard job posting that you'd see on other websites as well. A little blurb about the company, and the qualifications that the student has to meet in order to be a fitting candidate for his position, and the location and so on. So this is basically like the gist of it, how students would go about searching for all the opportunities that we have available on Starr Search, basically.
And I can actually briefly chime in. Something that's really, I mean, of course, we tell students to search on Starr Search. You know, it's our own in-house internal system. But the beauty of this system is that it's not Indeed, it's not LinkedIn, it's not one of the general job search sites, meaning that positions that are posted here have been posted because employers are specifically looking for Baruch College students. Whereas if they go on Indeed, that's for the world. You know? So they have a little bit of a leg up by tapping into our system first. Before going to some of those larger job search sites, which of course we would encourage to increase chances of finding opportunities. But you know, this really can be a very powerful tool when used correctly. When you're searching for things, you know, correctly and appropriately, you can really find some great opportunities. And sometimes students will come to us saying, you know, I checked your system, I didn't find a lot. And then we'll walk through the process with them. And it's just a matter of them clicking on the right filters, knowing what to click on and what not to click on to yield the best results. So we're happy to walk students through that process and what that means. There's a section back on the general job search screen. If you go back to the former screen, Adley, that has a job function section and an industry section. So if somebody's looking for something in marketing, just as an example, you know, maybe they want to find a marketing internship. They can use the industry dropdown or the job function dropdown. So the difference between the two is, let's say somebody only wants to work in the marketing industry. You know, they want to do marketing work, but only in that industry. They would then use the industry dropdown, but that's probably going to be a little more limiting than using the job function dropdown, because if they click marketing under job function, it's going to provide them with marketing opportunities in any industry. You could work at a hospital, but you could be a social media intern, right? You can do marketing related work in any industry. So it'll probably yield more results by using the job function dropdown. So these little nuggets of information is what we educate students on to yield the best results for what they're looking for. And of course, we're happy to coach students through walk-ins or personal appointments that we schedule through Starr Search also. You know, all appointments are scheduled through Starr Search as well. So I just wanted to kind of chime in and mention that little nugget of information there.
Yeah. And maybe Adley, you can just type in marketing just so that they can see how many positions we actually have in the system. Because I know how many times students like can't find anything in marketing. Yeah. So just to, yeah, there you go. So voila, especially this is being recorded. So now we have this and it's recorded that we have 277 opportunities.
Yeah, thank you so much for chiming in, Mike and Ingrid.
Sure.
For,
of course, yeah, no, thank you for explaining this. That it's a lot to take in, and so thank you for walking everybody through the process of where everything is and what the tabs mean and really how to find these opportunities, because there's a lot of steps involved, it's a little bit of digging sometimes. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know, guys, do you guys have any questions for us regarding the system now that you have all three of us? For those of you who are not that familiar, now you know the tips, the tricks of the system, but like Mike said, it's pretty robust. Everything's there. Also scheduling appointments. This is where students will schedule their counseling appointments through the system. Their resumes also, you know, they'll store it in the system. So, you know, I mean, yeah, they don't need anything else really outside of this. But like Michael said, they should definitely cast the wide net and take advantage of various different resources. But yeah, we have hundreds of opportunities coming in and these employers are interested in our students. So that's the beauty of it.
yeah, here's where you would add like, you know, your experience, your education under your profile, all these different like resumes, you know, to customize your profile to make you a much more, you know, standout candidate for positions.
Mm-hmm. And you can actually, students can actually publish this section once they complete it. This is actually an optional section, but they can fill it in as much as possible and then they can publish it. And then it provides the student with an external URL link. And whoever they share that link with, when they click on it, it'll take the person to a read-only version of their profile. So it's similar to like a LinkedIn, but it's more specific to Simplicity. Simplicity created this particular module for a profile. And so it's a really nice feature. Students can include their external URL link at the top of their resume. They can send it to a recruiter after they meet them. It's a nice snapshot of the student as a professional and as a student and what they're doing.
And I just want to chime in quickly that Simplicity, you know, now in the midst of COVID, one of the things that they're doing is they're casting a wider net. So you'll find that there's a lot more opportunities available to you. So if you want to, work in, let's say, California or Florida or any other state. In the past, it was only the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut that we focused on. But now we're getting tons of opportunities, especially, there's a lot more work that's being done, virtually. So there's a lot more options available to students. So, something to keep in mind as well.
And a student can accept an opportunity now in California because almost everything that we're posting is virtual. So it's not limiting students as much in terms of opportunities. It's actually expanded the number of positions that students could be eligible for.
And one thing, can you do me a quick favor, Adley, and look under and just a quick search government?
Oh, sure.
What pops up under government?
Government.
So just do that as a, oh, okay.
Search government there.
We could do it under, what do you think, function or industry? Probably people who are interested in that industry. Let's see what pops up.
Yeah, let me do a better search here.
Yeah. So as you can see,
the tabs disappeared for a second.
Yeah.
I think like, where do I go?
There it is. All right. So just type it in there, maybe under, let's see, job function, maybe. Job function might be better. Yeah. For folks who might be looking for work in that area. Let's see what pops up. Who knows with COVID now? I think you can just hit send. I don't know that you need to be that selective, especially because you put it in that area keyword. Let's see what happens when you enter it.
Sure.
So there you have it. So you can see, government as a job function, you'll see the different types of opportunities. And keep in mind that some employers will also, based on what they're looking for, since a lot of the employers are looking for all majors, sometimes they're selecting every major at Baruch. But they have it in a nutshell.
Yep.
And this is under government and how they classify themselves as, government and nonprofit, some organizations.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
One other thing that we have not mentioned about the system is that I think I briefly mentioned earlier that all of our events are also listed on this platform. So if a student wants to network and meet with recruiters through an info session, they're able to view the full list of information sessions on this platform as well. Or if they just want to go to one of our workshops through Starr and just brush up on their resume or get help creating a LinkedIn profile, we have workshops for all of that. So it would be under the events tab, and then you'll see sub settings for information sessions, for workshops, and you can kind of get a feel for the nature of our events, what we do, some of the topics that are covered. We really try to have a workshop that addresses all of the kind of questions we've received in the past, and so that really speaks to the Baruch population.
Yeah, and the other thing is now we have it it's in our library. We have recordings of these workshops. So this way students will have access. So if you're not available, let's say for an on-campus recruiting workshop, Michael usually facilitates. Michael, now you're gonna have a few extra people attend your February 23rd OCR workshop. But we have a lot of these are recorded. So this way, in case, this one is typically not, as it's a whole different process around this one. It's a mandatory workshop for students who want to participate in the on-campus recruiting process. We call it on campus, but a lot of these are virtual, just so you know. Yeah, so we're recording a lot of them. So the students have access 24/7 in terms of how to prepare, and also on the website. So this is Starr Search, our online career management system. The other resource is our website. So there's a lot of great information in our website under the student tab. So just make sure that, you visit that as well. There's a lot of resources in there.
I think there's a student that has her hand raised, Jessica.
Oh. Go ahead, Jessica.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, yes. Thank you. So I was actually gonna ask a question more on like logistics specifically. I know that you said that we can schedule like appointments and interviews. So specifically, like how would you schedule like, I guess, a meeting or for an interview that is being recorded? So like that's how some organizations are doing like interviews now. It's like you have to record yourself. That's considered an interview. So like, would that be part of like mock interview, or would that fall into a different category?
I can take this. Jessica, thank you for posing that question. So to schedule a regular appointment with one of our career counselors, Adley, if you could click on the home option at the very top left. So when you log in as a student from your home screen, I'll just wait till we get to that point.
I don't know why it's doing that.
Oh, don't click Starr Search, click home below it.
Oh, sorry.
Here we go. Okay, so from the home screen, Jessica, if you scroll down about halfway on the right side, there's a section that says schedule an appointment. So if you scroll down a little more, Adley, there we go. Up a little bit. Up a little more, there we go. Request
There it is.
It's under career tools and advising. So you would click request an appointment. So that's actually how you schedule something with a counselor. And then you'll see different counseling options. You know, one would be resume cover letter review, one would be LinkedIn review, one would be mock interview. And so this is actually how you would be able to do that. And we do record those interviews, and we actually would provide you with the recorded version so that you could actually, you know, practice moving forward and kind of, you know, view yourself on screen, which a lot of students don't like. You know, they get very awkward when they watch themselves, but it's a really good way to learn about, you know, how you interviewed. And we typically ask when we, you know, any counselor that has a mock interview scheduled, we'll reach out to the student in advance to ask them, you know, are you interviewing for an actual opportunity, or is this more just general practice? And so if it's for a real position, we'll ask you to actually send us the job description so we can tailor the questions that we ask you to that position and make it as realistic as possible. Otherwise, if it's general, we'll ask you regular interview questions just to kind of see where you're at, and then we provide you with feedback and constructive criticism. So it's a really robust experience.
And click on the drop down right there on next to type, Adley. You see the drop down there. So you can see. Just wanted to kind of give her an idea.
These are all the kinds of appointments that you can schedule. So obviously anything now would have to have the word online after it, because we're obviously only providing virtual interviews at this point.
We even do graduate school advisement.
And law school advisement, you know.
Yes.
We have actually our own pre-law advisor who works in our center, who has a background in law. Her name is Tina Coco. And so many students are you know, inquire about that process. And so she's able to advise on the LSATs and which, you know, law schools to attend based on their credentials and things like that.
And if anybody's interested, actually, she has invited a couple of folks that she knows who have, you know, diversity pipeline programs for folks, students that are interested in law. We're having a diversity career expo, so I'm going to plug that event right now. February 26th from 11 through 3. We're going to have a keynote from 11 to 12. You know, she's going to talk a little bit about, you know, the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. And then from 12 to 1, we're going to have breakout room conversations around DEI. You know, where we're going to have some employers, it's panel discussions, and then we're going to have moderators. So students are going to be able to participate in that as well. We're going to have a few at the same time. And then from 1 through 3, we're going to have breakout sessions with all the employers who are going to be in attendance, including Tina Coco, our pre-law advisor, because she wanted to invite, you know, a couple of colleagues, you know, from some, who are going to talk a little bit about the pipeline programs, if any of you are interested. So just be on the lookout for that. So just wanted to share that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so thank you so much. One quick follow-up. So I had seen like specifically like a first year or like / freshman guideline. Like it was like some link that gave you a whole bunch of opportunities. And I remember I saw like in the mail and I lost it. So by any chance, could you like, do you know what I'm referring to? If not, I could expand on it. But it literally gave like a whole bunch of opportunities that first year students could apply to, etc.
I actually do kind of know what you're talking about, but I would have to dig in my emails to find that, and I'm happy to send it to you. So what I'm doing right now is I'm entering my email address into the chat box. If you're able to just send me a quick email as like a reminder to me, I'm happy to obtain that for you.
So what was that exactly? There was something that was shared in your freshman, you said freshman seminar?
Yeah, so it was like in some mail. I think it was like on the CUNY like overall like Baruch email, like the newsletter. I don't know that CUNY sends for specifically for Baruch, and I had seen it like maybe like a few months ago, or maybe because I was like cleaning my mailbox out and I
Was it
saw it and was like
from,
I bookmarked it, but I lost it.
was it, so do you know if it was from the Starr Career Development Center or was it a
It
general
was
group email?
it was specifically from the Starr Center.
Okay, was it in like a newsletter format?
Yeah, it was like in your newsletter.
Oh, in our newsletter.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was looking and I
All
couldn't.
our newsletters, you can access all the newsletters, just so you know. So even if you receive one newsletter and you deleted it, I don't know, where can they access, Mike? Do we know where? I don't know where they can access
I would have
students.
to, I think Gerald keeps a link for them on our website, but that's
Yeah,
not.
maybe the blog or, yeah, it's
Right.
probably on the website. But anyway, so Michael will, yes, so feel free.
Yeah, if you could just send me an email though, and I'll look
Yeah.
into that for you, Jessica. Absolutely.
And Jessica, what year? So this is your first year?
Yeah, sorry, I was gonna type the email up, but yeah,
No,
it is
it's
my
fine.
first year.
Oh,
I
wow,
just finished.
welcome.
Yeah. Hi, thank you.
So you did your first year virtual. You haven't been to the campus. Soon enough, soon enough. Welcome.
Are there any questions for Adley or
Yeah.
Ingrid and myself? I guess we're just so detailed that we've overwhelmed everyone with resources.
I actually have something I wanted to share also, is that, we're so excited to partner with Starr to sort of kick off this idea of students thinking about their future. And Jessica, it's really a pleasure to see you again. And hope that that also those who are watching will continue to think about their future and go to the Diversity Career Expo. But also in terms of our own interest in ISLA, is that we want to encourage students who are bilingual to find that place on your skills, on your profile, to put that in there. Because being able to operate bilingually in multiple languages, cultural competencies and the like, we really want to encourage you. And I know that I know my colleagues at Starr, I see Ingrid nodding her head, that she agrees that this is a really important part of knowing that if you are, if you have those skills, that there are skills that employers will really be interested in. And plus, I mean, thinking about working even, working in government, that's definitely a skill, working in any sorts of industries. So along with those computer programming languages, don't forget
Yes.
other kinds of languages that
Yeah, that's critical in this day and age. They're always seeking, that's why, again, they come to Baruch because of the language skills. So definitely, you never know where, they're going to be tapping into you for that. And also because you come in, right, with a whole different framework, right? Just having that background and that knowledge and exposure to different cultures. I know that Stephanie and I were talking the other day and Daniela, with some of the students, and I have wonderful stories to share because of again, one student, he studied, it was Chinese. And as a result of that, with one of the banks, they were opening up an office in China. They extended an invite to him to be part of that initiative. So you never know, when, somebody's gonna, tap into you, because you have that additional skill set. So definitely, make sure that you're putting that information on your resume, and taking, classes that are offered, as a minor through Baruch, where you'll be able to show that you do have that skill, that knowledge, that know-how, or that interest. That definitely will pique their interest because they want to know that. It's always a diversity of thought, that they're seeking, in addition to having the technical skill sets that go along with it.
Great, terrific. Well, we've reached the end of our time.
Where did it go?
How quickly it flies. And so thank you so much. I really am so grateful to all of my fabulous colleagues at Starr. Thank you, Ingrid. Thank you, Adley. Thank you, Michael. I want to thank Serena and Kiara and wish you all the best of luck this year and always. We're just so proud of you and so proud of our Baruch students that really go out in the world and make us all very proud of your accomplishments with all of your hard work, which is really a fantastic source of inspiration for us in the faculty to see how hard you work and how high you fly. So thanks to everyone, and also thank you to Daniela, who without Daniela, this would not have been possible.
Yes.
Thank her. We are hoping that in the future, when we have our next